Ramley, welcome back to the Rams recap. There's a lot to recap. There's a lot to unpack after night one. But listen, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm going to give you my initial reaction then. I'm going to give you what I've sat with and had some time to think about, how I feel now. But boy, we got a lot to unpack, and I got a bone to pick with some of you Rams fans out there. I'm going to put some of you on blast, but we're going to iron out everything. So, Sammy, hit the intro.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rams Recap with LaQuan Jones.
They rush forward. Throw to throw for it. He's hit. He's hit. He's sacked. He throws it away. He flings it away on fourth down. Aaron Donald got there, and you can build that man's statue out SoFi Stadium right now. The greatest of all time on defense does it in the biggest moment of Super Bowl 56.
The sickest Los Angeles Rams podcast. It's gonna be sick.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ. You see the face, you know the case. You hear the voice, you know you made the right choice. Welcome to the Sick Podcast Network, the Rams Recap. Shout out to my first-time listeners. Shout out to my last-time listeners. And shout out to returning listeners. What up, Ramley? Let's get into it. First off, I'm going to start off with some smoke. I got a problem with some of you Rams fans out there. And again, I'm not putting myself as some, let's trade up and get Jeremiah Love. Barb? What? Trade up to get Jeremiah Love? Yeah, let's get Jeremiah Love. Did we not just see Kenan Ryu, a.k.a. Kyron and Blake Corum, put the run game on the map? We had the best run game in the league last year. What are we doing? So I'm sitting, scrolling the timelines, I'm in my mentions, in the DMs, talking about, yeah, let's get Jeremiah Love. Whoa, Rams fans, Ramley, because family fights all the time. You wanted Jeremiah Love? You got him, buddy. For the next decade, twice a year, every year, with the Cardinals. You think Bijan Robinson cutting us up, that you thought that game was bad? And guess who was on the sideline for that game? Yeah, you guessed it, Mike LaFleur. On the sideline watching Bijan cut us up in that game. 93-yard breakaway home run. What exactly do you think Mike LaFleur is going to do with Jeremiah Love? Where he sees all the holes in our defense, all the weak points. He knows all the secrets. You wanted Jeremiah Love, you got him. Twice a year, every year for the next decade. So I'm going to put that over there. That's my smoke for that crowd. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's get why you even clicked on this video. Because again, I like to be real. I like to be honest. I'm going to give you what I felt then, what I feel now. And a lot of people, you see some of the reactions, they're sticking with the same energy that they had before the draft. Some people are doubling down like this was a bad pick. I don't necessarily agree. Now, my initial reaction, I was shocked. I was so shocked. When I seen, first of all, let me break down the stages of shock. I was shocked that it was quiet. Once the first 10 went off the board, I'm like, all right, we were supposed to be wheeling and dealing. I'm shocked we didn't move up. Then you see the Cowboys move up, Giants do their thing. And then you see, oh, the pick is in. The pick is in. The pick is in. Shock. Oh, okay. This must be the auto pick. This might be Mekhi Lemon, right? Not mattering. I understand it. Tate, well gone. Tyson, he's in New Orleans. I get it. His stock inflated after that workout. I understand it. So here at 13, the pick is in. I'm thinking, yeah, it's Mekhi Lemon. But when I hear Ty Simpson, my eyes lit up. My heart started pounding. I don't know if I was excited. I don't know if I was angry. I don't know. Like the emotion was just pure shock. It's like, wow, whoa. When you go back to that Kay Adams and Sean McVay interview at the league meeting, it was like, he kind of said like, nah, we good. But then you draft him. So this was one of the things that I didn't expect, but in a way, I kind of get it, because when you listen to the reports, when you listen to guys like Peter Schrager, Tom Pelissero, and this is weeks before the draft saying, hey, the Rams have done their homework on Ty Simpson, right? And then you're like, interesting. Then you see the report the week of the draft, like, hey, if Trent McDuffie wasn't available, if we couldn't acquire him, he would have been gone at 29 to us, right? Pick 13 might have been completely different. Pick 13 might have been traded out or Sadiq or who knows, Mekhi Lemon. But we got Trent McDuffie. For those who are saying that Ty Simpson was a reach, Again, the plan might have always been to get Trent McDuffie and Ty Simpson. No matter the order, we could look at Trent McDuffie as that 13th pick. Cool, great, awesome. And then we could look at it as Ty Simpson was that 29th pick, which we gave the pick to the Chiefs for Trent McDuffie. Again, some folks are out here on the net typing away. I'm in group chats. Ramley, I see what some of y'all are saying. Y'all are wilding. I get it doesn't help us right now, but are we forgetting that before we even made a decision, before the draft even started, weeks, months before the draft, we were already the Super Bowl favorites. We were already a Super Bowl caliber team. Look at the losses we took last year, all self-inflicted. And look at this pick is we're looking ahead. You might have seen me on the timeline these last 12 hours, 16 hours, depending on whenever you're watching this, whatever. The future is bright. And I say that because there's obviously a plan for the post-Stafford era. And I want to make this very clear. Hey, tap in with me real quick. I am not pushing Matthew Stafford into retirement. Not ready for it. Because it's already clear Ty Simpson doesn't have that many reps. Only 15 starts last year, right? And he's coming back from an injury. He is not ready to take that torch. Let him sit for 2 to 3 years. Let him learn from a first ballot Hall of Famer, John Matthew Stafford, who is the reigning MVP. Let him sit close and personal, up front row, 1080 HP, 4K with Sean McVay, with Matthew Stafford, with some of the best minds in that staff. Get their hands around a guy that is all football. When you talk about Ty Simpson, right? Injury comes up, the lack of snaps come up, the lack of starts, whatever. But there's some qualities there in his game that you can see why they took him. He has it here. The football IQ is there. He is a coach's kid. Les Snead is very close, friendly, whatever the relationship is with his dad. So there's an understanding that this dude knows how to read defenses, make the adjustments. You want a smart football IQ mind, right? You don't want some goofy. If you know, you know. But I would say this, Ramley, we got to stop acting like we're the 40 whiners, the Raiders, the Eagles, the Cowboys, any of these toxic fan bases. For every move or every decision that we do or do not make, we immediately start attacking Les Snead or the team or McVay. We cannot be that toxic ass team when we have proof in the pudding that these are some of the best decision makers in the league. What are we talking about? And again, I know Ty Simpson at 13 is not the sexy pick. It's not the pick I wanted, right? I wanted Tyson, but he went to New Orleans. I thought Lemon was going to be their backup pick at that wide receiver position. Apparently not. Lemon fell, by the way. Fell further than I expected. But when you look at the decision makers, the guys that are in-house, and Les and McVay, we trust. Like, I don't get this turning heel on them so quickly after day one. And again, I understand it's not the sexy pick, but guys, if we want a wide receiver, we can still do that. Day two, second pick. It's a late second. But hey, if somehow, some way, Denzel Boston falls down there or we trade up, cool. Jacoby Lane may be available. Jeremy Bernard may be a little bit in that mid to early second round. These are guys that I hope we can target and bring in. Still a possibility. Still a possibility to get one of these weapons. And they all bring something different to the table. Denzel Boston, great after the catch. He can contribute on special teams, right? Big body, a red zone threat. Same thing with Jacoby Lane with his wingspan, right? You kind of throw it up. He's catching it, backflipping in the parking lot. It's crazy what this guy's catch radius is, right? Bernard, he's a tough player. Yards after the catch, right? Played with Ty. He can block. Opportunity there. That would be my best bet, right? Bernard would be number one. I would probably go Boston and then Lane. Possibilities, folks. And here we are on the net crashing out. For what? We were supposed to be going into this draft cool, calm, and collected. And I got to be honest, you're probably going to see some of my tweets. I've said I will be upset if we take Ty at 13. But now I did some readjustment because how much longer, again, I'm not pushing Matthew Stafford into retirement. How much longer do we honestly think Stafford has? I'm thinking there's a 2 to 3 year window with Stafford where A, he can put up another MVP season and win it again. B, we come home with another ring. That will be the perfect ride off into sunset before 40 or at 40 for Stafford. In those 2 to 3 years, I'm hoping that Ty comes along a lot further than a Stetson Bennett, right? I hope that Ty has gained the confidence for McVay to stick around. Now, I know Snead and McVay just this past February signed contract extensions, so they're going to be around. But I feel like McVay, there is a reality of where he's tying his tenure there to Stafford. And that's probably why the net is looking at some of the reactions or non-reaction that McVay is doing, because that's also in the back of everybody's mind. That could be a possible reality. Maybe he's saying he's happy with the pick. Maybe he wasn't too happy where we got the pick. But I do think that Ty Simpson was always on the big board. I always think that Ty Simpson was an option, being that, again, he's the second best quarterback in this class. Right? You got guys like Dan Orlovsky talking about he's a first-round pick. Obviously, he is, because that's kind of what it warranted. And it goes back to the actual reality that we're not going to be in the teens next year or anywhere near the top to get one of these top quarterback prospects to be the answer for the post-Stafford era. It's now. How hard is that to understand? There's moves that need to be made now that will benefit us later. And again, I understand it's not the sexy pick that helps us get to the Super Bowl this year, but there's still more time in the draft to make these adjustments, to make these moves, to get somebody that can contribute to that. And again, I don't want to automatically knock our in-house guys. Mumpfield, Whittington, right? Xavier Smith is back. I know some folks who are still not letting it go. It's a new season. They brought him back. Let's get to work. Because he made some extremely great plays last season when he was running packages out there with a Whittington, with the Puka, right? The deep routes that he was running, making those big time catches, right? The punt return ability is there. Obviously, he made a mistake. Let it go. On to the next, right? So I do think there needs to be a plan for the post-Adams era. I think that's next on the bill. I think that Puka Nacua, he's locked in. They feel confident that he's locked in. He's fine. He's obviously coming up on a contract. He's for the future. And for the folks that are like, well, we could have made trades for next year's draft to get one of these quarterbacks. I'm not quite sure we're in the position to be giving up major assets when we have a buttload of free agents that we need to sign. Some key notable guys, including Matthew Stafford, including Kobe Turner, including Byron Young, Puka Nacua, right? Devontae Adams. There's a lot of folks that need to get signed back. Omar Speights, contract year. There's a lot of notable players on this team that need to get contracts next year. I think next year is let's sign our guys. Let's bring in depth. Let's bring in guys and shuffle the board a little bit. Maybe we could trade this and trade that. Wheeling and dealing next year. But this year, it's go time. Rambling. That's really all I got. It's go time. This episode is basically to gather your emotions, iron them out, and let's start thinking here and not fully crashing out emotionally on the net, because it makes us look bad as a fan base. Because again, you don't necessarily have to agree with every single decision, but sometimes don't jump the gun. Let it play out, and let's see what this looks like in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, if we start hearing reports after year one, like, yeah, Ty Simpson's nowhere near ready, that's an issue. That's when we start barking, right? That's when we start hitting the net like, hey, what's going on in-house, bro? This was supposed to be the guy. This was supposed to be setting Stafford off into sunset. But again, not ready. I'm not ready to send him to retirement. For what? Still playing at a high level, right? When he left Detroit, when he made that trade for Jared Goff, I remember people out there like, oh, yeah, Stafford's done. What are they doing? He's old. He's that. What'd he do? Super Bowl first year. Shut up. A couple years ago, after the loss in the playoffs against the Lions, they're talking about hey, have you thought about retirement? And he looked like, what? Retirement? What are y'all talking about? He's still playing at the top of his game. What'd he do? MVP season. Shut your mouth. What did we talk? Like, I think outside noise start to forget who is really like that. John Matthew Stafford. Remember the name. Watch the tape. Do your research. He's not these quarterbacks that's outside that y'all try to compare him to, right? He's part of the last dying breed of the quarterback position, if you want to keep it a bean. Last of the last. Manning, gone. Brady, gone. Drew, gone. Rivers, backlasher, but gone. Stafford's the last of the dying breed. Y'all better, man, I'm checking temperatures this year on the timeline, by the way. I'm crashing out from my boys. I'll tell you that. I'm top crash out when it comes to the Rams. Facts. I'm on all BS this year. Because the net, when y'all start embarrassing us, Ramley, in front of the whiners, in front of the Sea Chickens, in front of the Cardinals, right? Makes us look weak. Makes us look bad. All I'm saying is show restraint. before we jump out the window with every single decision. The season's not over. We're not looking like we're going to be in the teens or at the top of the shelf like a lot of these teams that are still making wrong and poor decisions in their draft process, by the way. That ain't us. They not like us. Facts. So, Ramley, let's get it together. I ain't trying to be here too long ranting and stuff like that. I just want us to be better than that. I want us to enjoy day 2, day 3. Enjoy the block party. If you're in LA, pull up. I'll be there this weekend. And again, if you see me, say what's up, say hello. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the podcast. Throw me a follow on Twitter. Throw me a follow on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Real Deal Fantasy. And of course, make sure you are following the Sick Podcast Network, the Rams Recap on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Napster. I'm everywhere, baby. You hear the voice. You made the right choice. It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rams Recap with LaQuan Jones on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.